Done with day number 5 of Chula's intensive course, intensive Thai class number 5. So we'll start off with answering a couple comments. How are the other students' abilities, right? How do I compare to other students? And I would say, yeah, they're good. I mean, most, if not all, of the other students in the class have started at Chula's, especially their writing skills and their grammar is going to be spot on. So I would say, yeah, I would probably dare say that I'm probably the worst in the class in terms of writing, but that makes sense to me because I started at another school that concentrates on other stuff. In terms of speaking, they're also very, very good. The second question I got is, why am I spending so much time learning Thai? One, I'm 49, so I'm not retired yet. Eventually, I will go back into the workforce, and when I go back into the workforce, it will probably be in Thailand as either a sales engineer, account manager, something higher level up, probably for a tech company, tech sales, and my Thai will need to be at a very high level. Basically, to be giving presentations in Thai, yeah, most people going through Thai school, especially like what I saw at Duke, is there's probably, I'm going to make a guesstimate here, but I'm going to say 30 to 40% of the people who go through Duke stop at Journey 3. So Journey 3, they learn all the juicy grammar, they learn most of the nice words, and they're like, okay, I don't need to learn how to read and write, speaking is good enough for me, so they stop there. And then 30 to 40 more percent finish Explore 1 and Explore 2. They learn how to write, they learn the special rules, they learn the exceptions, and then they're like, well, I know how to read and write now, I'm good. Like, why would I want to go to Explore 3 and all the connects and go through that hell? 20% that are left do try to finish some of the connect classes and go all the way through. If you're going to go through Thai and try to go to the higher levels, you really should have a good reason of why you're doing it. If the reason is just because I've got time, I don't think that's going to work, because at a certain point, case in point, this class, the time commitment is severe. I mean, it is basically almost like working a full-time job. It takes 1 or 2 hours for me to get to school and come back to school. It takes 3 hours of class. The homework is significant at 2 to 3 to maybe 4 hours a day. I've got to prepare a presentation for tomorrow, a 5-minute presentation in PowerPoint, and that's going to take some time. So yeah, you're talking 8+ hours a day committed to learning Thai, and you better have a good reason. So for many people, it could be you need to work here, right? That's a good reason. For others, like myself, is whatever I do, I try to do it to the utmost of my ability. Right? I try not to do anything half-assed. So whether it's building computers, whether it's back in the days of playing World of Warcraft, I got really, really good at it, waste a lot of time. Whether it's learning to fly a plane, whether it's learning languages, whether it's working at Cisco. So we got some of our homework back, and man, you want to talk about being marked in the red pen, like this one, I think like every other word is marked in red. Much like before, today I got my original instructor back from day number 1, and we started off with reading a news article. And news article, once again, is talking about crime and people dying, dead bodies. I think our body count is in the double digits now of people dying. But basically, it was a story, 3 people in a house, ages 64, and 16 or 12 or something like that. And a guy came in, was drinking. A guy came in and shot like everyone in the house. And the husband died. The wife is injured and was taken to the hospital, and I forgot what happened to the kid. There were neighbors, there were witnesses, and then the guy fled somewhere. And then the questions were like, who's the victim? Who's the suspect? How old is one of the suspects? Who died? Who was injured? What happened with the witnesses? Did the witnesses actually see the suspect, or did they hear the suspect? What happened to the suspect? Have they caught the suspect yet? What weapons were used? How was the one of the victims shot? Was she shot in the chest? Was it a through and through? Like, the vocabulary here is crazy. And today we learned like lots of new vocabulary, along with one interesting one is like, so bullet, right? So there's a bullet that has been, it's a bullet that's been used, like it's gone through the gun, right? It's the leftover bullet. And then there is, before it's been fired, it is a cartridge, right? That's what you put in the magazine. So we learned the classifiers for bullet versus cartridge. I mean, that it's getting that exact. And then we reviewed ham versus ya versus ngot. So the government telling you not to do something versus a condo telling you not to do something versus your friend telling you not to do something versus the condo telling you not to do something even though normally you would be able to do it. Like today you can't use the fitness center, but normally you are able to use the fitness center. And another interesting exercise we had today was we had to read a paragraph, and then we were given 5 to 6 questions of find the wrongly spelled word. Now the wrongly spelled word could have an extra letter, it could have a missing letter, it could have the wrong tone mark, and that seemed to be the main thing, was the tone marks were wrong. And that one was, I read, like, this is hitting at my weakness, because I read the whole paragraph and I was like, well, the whole thing looks good to me. Like everything's great. So my tip for you guys, if you're coming from a different school, before you get into intensive Thai class number 5 or even probably 4, tighten up your reading and writing, and make sure you have your tone marks and your tone rules and your exceptions down 100% without thinking. Also, today was a little different in terms of the reading. So the instructor would post the sentences on the board. And yes, today was she's actually pointing to specific people. Humphrey, read this sentence. You read this sentence. You read this sentence. Now, we're not reading a lot. We're reading one sentence at a time. So I think today, the total number of sentences I read 3. I read 3 sentences today. And that's more than usual. So it kind of shows you how lecture heavy Chula is that you don't get to read a lot, except for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be our presentation. So each day concentrates on a different mode of language. So there's 4 modes of language. There's reading, there's writing, there's speaking, and there's listening. Each day concentrates on 2 different things, and each day has a different instructor. So I think that's kind of how they do it, is each instructor has a strength in a set of subjects, in a set of learning, right? Like one instructor could be really good at reading and writing, another instructor could be really good at speaking, and then they slot them in for different days. Okay, we're gonna cut this one short today, because not only is my brain fried, but I need extra time to finish up my presentation for tomorrow. We have a field trip coming up on the 16th, and what I found really interesting was they gave out a sign-up sheet, and the sign-up sheet said if we were going or not, so you check yes or no, and along with that, here's how prepared they are. Here's how locked on they are with their procedures. There was a column for if we are allergic to any type of food, because they are going to feed us. Kind of cool, right? Field trip, feed us, nice. And so if we're allergic to shellfish or tomatoes or peanut butter or whatever, okay, Humphrey down with class, finished with class number 5. I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow for class number 6. Take care, stay safe, bye.